Women's History Month for Bucks County. 39th year for 2 years running. So we're finally in person, and we're very, very happy to have everybody together to honor Celia. First, I want to thank my fellow committee people. I should introduce myself. I'm Rebecca Custer. I'm the committee person, again, for 2 years straight in a row. I'm ready to pass the torch to the next person. So again, we're very happy to have everybody in person to see and honor Celia. Quick little stat we want to let you know. In the past 20 years, this committee has raised and given away $28,000 to organizations of the honorees choice. And this year we are giving a total of $1,000 split evenly for two of Celia's charities. So we are you okay? So with that, I'm going to keep it short so I know the electeds have other places to go, but I will pass it on to Kathy Horwath, and she will be presenting the proclamations and citations for our elected officials.
Welcome, and it's so great. Congratulations to you. Every year, we are so honored to have our congressman realize how important this event is, and to all of the women in Bucks County, especially the history of all the women in Bucks County. And this year is no exception, despite his really busy schedule. I'd like to start off with Congressman Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Celia, congratulations. 2-year run? 3-year run? Is that what it is? And so we obviously always study up on anybody we're going to honor. And I got to tell you, and we've been reading up on you. It started 2 years ago, and again last year we thought we were going to have it. But Celia's story really is amazing. Immigrating from Colombia, I guess back in the 70s, right? She went to school in Michigan, studied chemistry, came to Washington, D.C., met her husband, started a family, and ultimately came here to Bucks County, and we were so lucky to have you for all that time. 1994, you've been here since, right? And all the work that Lydia has done, working for social justice causes, working for the dignity of immigrants, the dignity of the disabled. Reading Celia's history reminds me a lot of Mother Teresa, to be honest with you. It really does. Because I'm sorry, Celia, you have served a cause bigger than yourself for your entire life. You've given your heart and your soul to the community. And we just want to say, number one, thank you for all you've done for Bucks County, for the immigrant community, for the disabled community, for all the people that you've helped. And we had a flag photo of the U.S. House of Representatives in your honor, Celia, and I wanted to read this here because we also did something a little bit more special than that. But first I want to read this to Celia Sharp, receiving the 39th Annual Bucks County Women's History Month Award for your outstanding contributions to our community, and also having your name entered into the congressional record. So we do this for certain individuals in Bucks County that achieve greatness. And when we enter something into the congressional record, it gets transmitted to the National Archives, which make Celia Sharp permanently part of American history. Celia, whenever we open the Capitol up, which I hear the rumors next month, we'll see about that. We'd love to invite you and your family, your beautiful family, to come down and be our guest. We'll take you all around, including the Smithsonian National Archives, where we might be able to find your name in there if they enter it on time. So, okay? So, what's your granddaughter's name? Ramona. You proud of Grandma, Ramona? You should be. You should be. So yeah, thank you so much for all you've done for us, really. You're a gem. If we had more Celia Sharps, the world would be a much better place, right? Yeah. And thank you to the committee and to the League for honoring women. This history goes back decades. Obviously, this is the 39th, although it's a 41st year that you've been doing this year. You've really picked some amazingly special people, and people that need to be honored. They're always the unsung hero that never raise their hand to get attention. And you find those people and you honor them. So Celia, on behalf of the United States Congress, I want to present you both with the flag flown over the Capitol, as well as your congressional record. Yes.
from our state senator, Steve Santisero.
Well, good evening, everyone. Celia, it was worth the wait. To echo what the Congressman just said, it's nice after the travails and the challenges of the last 2 years that we're able to be together. And in furtherance of what he just said, you know, for those of us in public life who serve, we're used to standing in front of audiences, we're used to being recognized because of the roles we play and the work that we do in our capacities in our positions. But there are so many people throughout our community who do work day in, day out to help make this world a better place. And they are often unsung, they're often unrecognized. And so having this recognition and what we do year in, year out, recognizing the people who really do serve and make a difference in our community is important. And that's why it is so important to be here tonight, to be able to recognize you, Celia, even though we had to wait. Because as the Congressman just said, your service in the community, whether at the Silverman Center or the work you've done for immigrants, the work you've done through the Unitarian Church, to really stand up for making this world a better place, for justice, for everyone, is really incredibly important. You know, my tradition teaches that we have an obligation to heal the world. That's one of the things that we are called upon to do day in, day out. And you certainly have lived that and continue to live that. And so it's appropriate that the Congressman is here, that I'm here, and that all of your friends and colleagues are here to celebrate with you and to recognize what you've done. And it's equally important that Ramona is here to see this. And I say that with all sincerity, because I know you're in first grade, but you're seeing what your abuela is doing here, right? And what she has done. And this is an example for you. It's an example of what you can do when you grow up. And you are an adult, and you're in the world, and there are going to be a lot of challenges, but you can make a difference too, just like your grandma has. Okay? So you should be proud, very proud of her, as I know your family is as well. So I have a citation from the Pennsylvania Senate that was actually issued a couple of years ago. It's still good. There's no expiration date on it. And it has a, you'll see in it there is a photo of the Senate chamber. And I point that out always because it really is, the Capitol building is really a beautiful building. It's kind of one of those buildings that you'd never build today. And it's probably the most beautiful state capitol in the country. And we're very fortunate here in Bucks County. We're proud of the fact that the floor is all Mercer tile, which is kind of neat. But if you and your family get a chance to come out, I would be very happy to take you on a tour and bring you on the floor of the Senate. And I'm sure Representative Labs, who is the state representative for Doylestown, at least at the moment, because our district lines are changing, but she is this year. I would be happy to do the same thing for you on the House side. I also have with me a flag of our Commonwealth, which, similar to the American flag that Congressman Fitzpatrick gave you a moment ago, has flown over our state capitol in your honor, along with a certificate acknowledging that. And again, that is because of what you've done for the community and in recognition of your service to the people of our community, and that really is an appropriate thing for us. So, again, I want to congratulate you and thank you for allowing me to be here to share part of this moment with you.
appreciate Senator Cesare coming, and I know he has another event. But he too is one of the elected people that comes every year, so we're very proud about that. You know, a couple of people can't come due to their other obligations. The first, but they said the citation is from U.S. Senator Patrick Toomey, and he recognizes you for your outstanding leadership, character, and integrity. We have two more. Maybe you should sit down. Okay.
Tell you, don't sit there.
Yeah. From the House of Representatives, this was circulated by Megan Schroeder, and they too have a beautiful citation that's wonderful for you to see and have for you, and it says many of the same things. Oh, what a great person you are. So it's signed by it's written and attested by all of our state representatives. So that's a wonderful thing. The last one I have for you today is, although we are expecting some other people maybe a little later, but from Governor Tom Wolf. And I want to read what he wrote because I think it's really important. It's his pleasure to join with the Bucks County Commissioners Advisory Council for Women to congratulate you on receiving the 2020 Bucks County Women's History Month Award through 2022, of course. Okay. Women of every age, race, ethnicity, and economic background have made historic and significant contributions to the growth and strength of our nation. For 39 years, the Bucks County Commissioners Advisory Council for Women has presented this award to a woman who has made a difference in the community. Throughout your life, you have dedicated yourself to Bucks County, giving your time to volunteerism and philanthropy. You have upheld the Commonwealth's principles by supporting the rights of marginalized groups and using your voice to empower and advocate for more vulnerable populations. The Commonwealth is privileged to have you as an example of our traditions and values, and I am certain you will continue to inspire others for years to come. As Governor, and on behalf of the citizens of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, I am honored to congratulate you on receiving this award. Please accept my sincere wishes for continued success. Tom Wolf. Kazak is going to come up and give you a rare poetic honor.
Thank you, Kathy. Normally, the Bucks County Poet Laureate does this. Unfortunately, she had a conflict. She is at a literary conference in Philadelphia today. So she asked me if I would read the poem for her. Also, I want you to know, this is your poem. I'm not going to hold it, it's heavy. I carried it in here, it is heavy. But our poet laureate is a young woman named Mary Jo Jerome. And she is an editor, a poet, and a teacher. And she is the co-editor of the editor of poetry of the Schuylkill Valley Journal. And that's why she's in Philadelphia today. And she has done a lot of writing and being published in different, like Poets Reading the News and different publications. And she's very talented, as you'll hear. And I hope I can get through this without crying. She did a beautiful poem. She calls this poem, How to Heal Ourselves. In praise of Celia, whose Abula taught her on the Colombian coffee and pineapple plantation, when no one loves you, love yourself. 5-year-old Celia loved herself enough to demand the nuns teach her to read and to write, instead of coloring on scraps of paper on the playground. Loved herself enough to study chemistry and biology in a country where women, especially the poor, were not asked to exercise their minds, but their backs and their hands. To leave that country and family to land in America with $4 in her pocket, wanting work, wanting more science, wanting English, the life she couldn't have at home. To accept help when she needed it, to understand that even when the luck she was smart enough to grasp, there were 100-fold injustices to stare down. She loved herself enough to be brave, to live in the now, to work for cures, to treat the broken system around us, to say, how is it possible to do nothing? Here's the thing, the relentless avalanche of inequity rolling heavily over us like the boulder of Sisyphus. The endless troubles, the weariness when efforts seem small. We feel condemned by the gods to futility and ills. Even so, Celia keeps pushing back, shoves that stone over the rise. To Celia, such boulders are pebbles. In her cozy home, Celia keeps a bronze sculpture of Sisyphus, that old Greek beggar in perpetual struggle with his giant rock. To Celia, on the coffee table, a slim volume of Neruda's love poems, next to a heavy book of the ethics of science in our times, each a study of the things that we break or that break us. She might fix homemade empanadas for lunch with cilantro and lime dressing, then head to the free clinic, where as she has for 20 years, to translate between doctors and sick immigrants conversations about Graves' disease, whooping cough, the virus, diabetes. This is how to get well, she'll explain. Celia shows us this is how to heal. Thank you. And now we will hear from Francine Block for the presentation of certificate.
Celia, it's truly an honor to be here, to honor somebody like you. I may not be a congressman and I might not be a state senator, but I live in Bucks County, so truly appreciate people like you who give back to the community. When somebody does that, it's because they want to, not because they're dragged into it. Especially coming from a community where it probably wasn't the norm for you to just get in here and get involved, see where your talents could be used, and to go and use them. It's very exciting to be a member of this committee. We talked about you for several years. But to finally be here, have your family with you, which is so important, and especially the role model you set for your young granddaughter. So it's a simple certificate, there's no flag with it, but it's truly meant from the committee. See who's going after me? Oh, Marilyn. Beautiful gift. Marilyn, would you like to come up and present?
Hello, Celia and Ramona and all of the other members of the family and guests here tonight. it's so lovely that finally we're able to have a ceremony to recognize your accomplishments. Part of what we have historically done is create in your honor a special gift, glass art made by Carl Carter, who is a glass artist in Newtown who teaches glass arts at the community college. And in addition to that, I'm just going to take it back. Personally, and put it on the plinth that we have had engraved with your name and the honor that you're receiving tonight. Further, your name has been added, and I'm going to try and hold this so that I don't forget. We have created this commemorative plaque. I will come closer so you all can see it. It's a Mercer tile, and on here are the names of all the women who've received this award since it began in 1982. So you're the 39th entry. You'll see that your name is here under 2020. I guess we'll have to leave a blank for 2021, or maybe we'll just skip a few years. But this has been hanging in the courthouse, in the old courthouse, and it's currently on loan from the new courthouse and will be returned there. So you will be commemorated also in the courthouse by virtue of this plaque. So we thank you very much for all that you do, and let me put this down. And we hope you enjoy your lovely glass art. Art is an important part of life, and I think it's very fitting in this at this occasion to give you something special like that. So congratulations again, and Lydia, it is your turn to come and make the tribute for Celia.
Yeah.
I feel like some of what I planned to say you've heard, but I don't think it's terrible to hear things twice about Celia. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. And then imagine what could be accomplished if one of those citizens was Celia Sharp. As everyone has said, this night has been a long time coming. Never before has a Women's History Month award held the crown for 3 years. And it really is, because it's 2021 and we're in 22 already. So it is our fervent hope that it has made the event more meaningful and important and not diminished it. As our committee was first meeting to decide on the winner, one member of the committee dropped off saying, "You know, I really have more important things to do than plan events. There's business to be done." And I have thought about that comment many times over the last 3 years. Because Celia Sharp never acted in the best interest of others because there was an award or an honor waiting for her at the other end. That does not mean she shouldn't be recognized, though. Honored and applauded for her lifetime of giving and caring and succeeding. She is a part of the history of every community she has ever served in, and this needs to be recorded so that others gently follow suit and walk in her footsteps. Celia's serious, conscientious style of sticking to an issue and fighting to the end reminds me of a wonderful quote that I came across just this week by Sojourner Truth. "I think that twixt the Negroes of the South and the women at the North all talking about rights, the white men will be in for a fix pretty soon. And that's Celia Sharp. You have to know your audience where you can say certain things, but beware of Celia. Be relentless when she is sure a person is not receiving a fair deal. Besides being a continual community advocate, she is also a teacher, similar to what our senator said. When you see her in action, you hope others are inspired to step forward and join in and actively help the underserved and their many complex needs and issues. Celia is a perfect role model because she truly lives by the same creed and ethics that she rallies for others daily. Many activists have one issue that they're laser focused on, and they pursue that. Celia is a wonderment because she has so many fronts that she is fighting on, and she cannot say no when you ask her to join another one. She does not ask for anything more from anyone that she doesn't ask of herself. Her private home life as a wife and mother and grandmother, and soon to be a grandmother for the second time, is filled with love, positivity, and constant productivity. Everyone is bright, busy, and moving forward with careers and causes that they are passionate about. Being purposeful and meaningful is something that she and Mark instilled in their children from a very young age. The committee didn't struggle long on choosing Celia because it is hard to compete with her history and her resume. She knows what it means to be an immigrant in a new country with very few dollars in her pocket. She knows what it means to persevere against odds. She knows that she had to work harder than others, and she knew that being better educated would be the key to success and fulfillment. Cecilia is an accomplished research cell biologist who also holds several degrees in chemistry and bioethics, and she has jointly published many professional papers in very respected scientific journals. That alone is an impressive career worthy of accolades, but Julia didn't stop there. She became a person of interest in our community because of her extensive involvement in volunteer positions. The list is very long, and I'm not going to read it all, but I have to highlight a couple of items. Bucksmont Unitarian Universalist Fellowship Committee since 1994. I think her crowd is over here from that. Medical interpreter at the Ann Silverman Family Clinic since 2000. The crowd's over there. Medical Ethics Committee of Doylestown Hospital since 2014. I don't think anyone's here from this, but hospice volunteer at Grandview Hospital from 2014 to 2017. And a very newly formed but very impactful group, the Immigrant Rights Action Doylestown since 2017. Those are just a few of her endeavors. I have worked side by side with her at the Free Clinic. Her kindness, caring, and thoroughness have made her a very important component of the clinic. She is a bulldog on fair treatment and children's rights. Immigrant mistreatment absolutely sends her into action. Once again, don't mess with Celia. You can ask the Centennial School District if her advocacy didn't help shape finally their current policy on undocumented children. If this were an open audience participation discussion, many more talents would even be exposed, and her exceptional list would grow, of that I'm sure. And she does all this tirelessly. One of my first times working with her, there was a call from a nurse that she was needed quickly. Celia took off in her high-heeled shoes and answered the need. Later, when she came back, I said to her, "Wouldn't sneakers be more comfortable for you to get around in these halls?" And she responded to me, "But my legs wouldn't look as sexy." How special that she is driven to help others and she still is one hot lady. Standing ovation. Now, another something that has been held off for several years was that at the same time as Celia was chosen to be the recipient for the Women's History Month, she was chosen to be one of the women who makes a difference through the YWCA in Bucks County. This is Kristen Chapin. It's not on the program, but when she realized she could, she never got a chance to honor her in person, so we're squeezing her in.
Hello, Celia. It's so nice to finally see you in person, and Lydia, thank you for the opportunity. And I think everyone before me said everything. But the YWCA, it was our 29th annual Salute to Women Who Make a Difference. Again, it was supposed to happen in 2020, postponed to 2020 twice, and then finally had it in October of 2021, but unfortunately we weren't able to see you in person. But we had the event, we were able to formally recognize you on October 28th for your advocacy efforts with racial and social justice. And I just wanted to come here and see you in person and say thank you for all that you do, all your advocacy work with the clinic, the Bucks County Women's Advocacy Coalition, League of Women Voters. You've done work through us with our webinars and the YWCA for racial and social justice on rapid DNA and many other things. So I just want to come here and say thank you to you in person and formally acknowledge you as a YWCA woman who makes a difference. Two more flags and a bag of citations that we weren't able to give you at the event, and also our traditional through the YWCA, a little girl facing the bull. So, congratulations. And thank you to this group for allowing me to.
The next person to speak is Celia Sharp.
Well, what can I say after all of this? Many of the people sitting here deserve what I have enjoyed today. Use the mic. Okay. Good evening. Instead, or ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say good evening, we the people. I have always been impressed by this opening of the American Constitution since I learned it in my grade school geography class in Colombia. It had not yet occurred to me that one day I will be one of those people. much less standing here, speaking to other American people, accepting this honor you so generous give me. I was born in Cali, Colombia, the first of 7 children my mother had. We were poor, but ambitious and resourceful. I remember when I was little, being so frustrated because I cannot read. I used to hold a book and turn the pages like an avid reader, wishing I were able to read and understand. Lucky for me, my mother, Ana Cruz Mosquera, was a genius and a saint. She defined norms for girls from the poor family to find a way to send me to a good school. It was the first semi-public school in Cali. A group of progressive Catholic nuns had decided to start a program provide free schooling for poor girls as the one for the preppy school for the rich. I wear a special uniform so as not to be confused with the wealthy classmates. It was amazing to be in a fancy school. I never realized until later, my mother's sacrifices to keep me there. Somehow, she managed to keep my uniform clean and ready to go to school every day. I was so proud to be the only girl in my neighborhood sent to the downtown school. On Sundays, we wore our uniforms and we had like the rich girls and participate in the procession to go to the mass as well, or the well-known church. My mother also made sure all my brothers and sisters got an education. The education she never was able to have. She even used to donate a tiny amount of her paycheck to help other kids go to school. All her friends used to criticize her for spending money on girls. In a girl's education, put her